Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 113 of our Be a Better You annual challenge. Today, I am double fisting my beverages. I've got my cup of emergency and my cup of coffee, of course, to start the day. And we are talking about step 3 of the IDEANCE process that we came up with in January, and that is to explore options. E is to explore, get curious about, and come up with different options, ways to fill the gap between where we are with our relationship and where we want to be. So today we're going to use the 10-3-1 tool because it's my go-to brainstorming tool these days. And it's all I have to do is I write the thing I'm looking for or brainstorming about, the problem I'm wanting to solve, the relationship I'm wanting to improve in this case, across the top. And then I just start listing out and brainstorming 10 possible ways that I can start to fill that gap. I don't know that there'll be one thing that I can do that would fill the gap entirely. Probably not. Relationships are an ever-evolving, ever-changing thing. And we only control one side of the relationship. We don't control the other part. So we can only do what we can do in order to try to improve the relationship. And either the person wants to be in a relationship with us or they probably don't. Or maybe they don't even know if they do or don't yet. So what are we going to do today as an action item? We are going to think about the relationship we're focusing on. For me, it's my relationship with my granddaughters. And I'm going to brainstorm 10 different ways I can go from where I am with the relationship with my little angels and where I want it to be and how I want it to be in the future, right? And during communication, I shared that I tend to raise my voice too much and I sound like a shrew sometimes because I'm afraid they're going to get hurt. Well, that's about my fear, not theirs. So that's an area that I can control and I can work on to improve our relationship. We're actually having a sleepover with all 3 granddaughters tonight. So I'm super excited because that is a way to start to get to know and understand what's important to them, because I want to know what's important to them in their lives and their and the relationship with grandma, not just about what's in it for grandma, although I care about that too. So today, and I want to share Shannon's list. She started a list. She's got 3 things with 3 bullet points on her list of exploring options and things she can do to start to fill the gap with her relationship with her sister. So you get an example of someone else's. Since I haven't done my list yet, I can't really share mine yet. So E is for exploring, finding ways to reconnect and repair the relationship. In Shannon's case, with the intention in her heart, she sits down and practically and emotionally intelligent ways to mend and evaluate her relationship with her sister and elevate, not evaluate, elevate, make it better, get it better, right? We all want better relationships. We don't want worse relationships. So the first thing she said is rebuilding trust through small, consistent gestures. So she'll look at that today as one of her 10, and then initiating vulnerable conversations, starting those conversations and creating new shared experiences were her 3 ideas so far. And then she'll have bullet points. As she did bullet points for these 3 because she picked these 3 to move forward on, but I'm still making her go back and come up with a random brainstormed list of 10, so that if for some example one of these falls off and doesn't pan out the way she wants it to, she can always go back to her list, or she can continue to add to her list as ideas pop into our heads. That's why I like having a journal for the challenge, because as I'm going about my day doing just the random everyday things that I do, that's when some of the best ideas pop into my head. And I want to be able to capture those, because I don't know about you, but if I don't capture them in the instant, they're gone. And the more I try to remember them, the more they hide in my brain somewhere. So if you need any help with this, if you're struggling with how to even brainstorm or approach this, please ask. I've got probably 100 different brainstorming tools in my toolbox, and one might resonate more with you than the 10-3-1. For me, just writing out a list of 10 things. Sometimes I'll just peel off 10 post-it notes and walk around with them, and I get an idea, I write it down. I get an idea, I write it down. Other times I sit down with a 15-minute timer and I'm like, okay, I got to come up with at least 10 things. And usually in that amount of time, I come up with like 25 to 35, if not more. I've sat down for 10 minutes before and come up with 100 things that I could do to improve my relationships with different entities or different individuals, etc. So brainstorming is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to tap into our creative juices. We're supposed to have a good time with it. So enjoy yourself and do this today, because it's a relationship you really care about and want to improve. So of course you want to find different ways of doing that. All right. Any questions? Ask. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow. Have an awesome day.